Several weeks ago, or maybe it was months ago, the last time everyone started freaking out and saying that a 4K Nintendo Switch was coming, I made a video explaining how, no, there was not a native 4K Nintendo Switch coming. Well, lo and behold, the rumor mill has ramped up again, and now news article after news article talking about a 4K Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to explain exactly why you're not going to get a native 4K Nintendo Switch the way that they're talking. Before we get in too deep, I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button down below. That helps me out more than you could possibly know. A quick Google search will find multiple articles. Here's one on digital trends. Some analysts believing it could even hit 4K resolution while docked. Here's one, metro.co.uk. New Nintendo Switch Pro console with 4K graphics due next year. Here's one from Android Authority. The 4K Nintendo Switch Pro in 2021? Alright, here's as simple as this really needs to be. There is no possible way that an NVIDIA Tegra chipset is going to render games at 4K resolution. The PS4 Pro had to use checkerboarding. Okay? We're talking about a mobile chipset. It's not going to happen. The current Nintendo Switch in docked mode struggles to run games at 1080p. We're talking about quadrupling the pixel count to go to 4K. The only way you're going to get any kind of 4K anything on something using a current NVIDIA Tegra chipset is going to be through upscaling. Luckily, NVIDIA has DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling. And what that does is it uses AI to upscale a lower resolution image, say 1080p or 720p, up to a higher resolution. It is a cheating kind of way to get 4K, but it's not native 4K. You've all seen these really cool things where people take an old-timey black and white grainy image and they upscale it, they clean it up, and then they colorize it. It's something, you know, in a way kind of like that. You're going to take what the Switch can do, which is, you know, 720p and 1080p sometimes, and it's going to upscale it, clean it up digitally with AI, and make it into a 4K image. That is not the same as rendering a 4K. It will not look as good as native 4K. In fact, if you want to see pretty much exactly what that might look like, there is an item called the M Classic HDMI Upscaler. You'll see videos, and what this thing does, it's a little dongle that you plug into your TV or your monitor, then you plug your Switch into that, and it will upscale Switch games or whatever else to a higher resolution than is native. What you will notice through this is that it looks a little bit better and not a lot better. Personally, I find it really disingenuous and almost frustrating to see all these headlines from pretty major publications screeching on about Switch Pro having 4K. Is it possible that through your docked Nintendo Switch Pro you'll be able to watch 4K YouTube? I guess, but is that what we're talking about when we say 4K on the Nintendo Switch Pro? Is that what we're meaning now? We can watch a video? No, when you say the Switch Pro is going to have 4K, we all know what you mean. You mean that it's going to render games at 4K, and it's just not possible. It's not going to happen. The only way this happens is through upscaling. Maybe upscaling with a mixture of some sort of checkerboard technique. It is not going to be native 4K. It's not even going to be close. Guys, don't believe the rumors. Personally, good news is I don't think that the Switch Pro needs to have native 4K. In fact, if you check out the video that I'll link up above, I explain exactly what a Nintendo Switch Pro should look like and how that's probably totally adequate. So guys, that's all I've got on this one. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends. If you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a Scary If Literal member. You'll get access to a whole bunch of emoticons to use with live streams and a shout out on an upcoming video. Thanks as always for your continued support.